Hey, what is going on, everyone? Alright, first of all, cheerio to everybody for making my weird, non-YouTube specific YouTube channel reach 300 people. It's pretty amazing. So, thanks everyone for the support. And I just wanted to show you a car that I've shown a while ago. It's probably one of the first cars that I showed when the COVID crisis started here. Probably around last January or something like that, and it is my four-wheel drive 112 custom pancars. So it is currently fitted with the Porsche body from Tamiya, from the RM, their pancar. The first time I made a video about it, it was fitted with the BT Design GT body, I think the Lotus or something like that. And so you will see I've tried to drive it on the carpet track, which didn't really work too well. But I wanted to give you a quick overview for whom didn't know about that car. It's one of the first custom projects that I've done, trying to do my own chassis. I didn't really go through with small production because it's too costly, and mainly it's because of all the free racing parts that I'm using. And that makes the cost of the car really too high for what it is. And I don't believe, although people are buying the re-release of the Phantom, let's face it, four-wheel drive pan cars in 112 scales are not popular. So I have not gone forward with it, and then I've moved on to the other projects that you know. But let's have a quick overview of that car. Again, as you can see, it is packed full of goodies. There is not much free space on the car. Free racing parts, I'm using the spool in the front, which is from their Sports, XS Sport, or I think they're all sharing the same diff, no matter it's the M chassis or the touring chassis. So spool in the front. I have my own pulley over there because I want to have a wide pulley in order for the pulley to be freely moving left and right. Center pulley tensioner over there that is 3D printed as well. At the rear, I have a free racing diff with two free racing pulleys from the original, from this diff, and then another cutaway from another diff that I mounted together. So it's a double pulley at the rear. And this is a differential. I'm using the M chassis 34mm CVDs in the front and in the rear, and I'm using the M chassis hubs, the uprights, both in the front and in the rear. I'm using the sames. So the rear is mounted with those links at the back, and it allows for very, very minimal amounts of rear steering on suspension compression in the corner, but really minimal, because the suspension travel in this car is less than 3 millimeters, so it's really minimal. And then I think that's pretty much it. No, the steering geometry as well is from the Sports XS, the Sport X1, should I say, from Free Racing. And I think that's it. I have my own 3D printed pulley and spur mount over there with two bearings on each side. The motor, I'm using a 10.5, which is why it's a very bad idea to drive it here. And the steering angle is not good for, no sensible sized car can drive on the Mini Z scale. They just don't steer enough. This is designed for steering at speed, so the steering angle is really low. Anyway, the way the car works is fairly straightforward. It's a four-wheel drive car. The motor is driving the spur is driving the rear axle with a belt, and the rear axle is transferring to the front axle with a belt. So those are two standard belts from Free Racing as well. So you can imagine when you start to add together all the CVDs, the belt, the pulleys, the steering geometry, the cost of that car starts to add up to something quite substantial for what it is, plus the carbon fiber parts that I have. So the pan chassis is a very thick pan. It's a 3mm. I wanted to have something very rigid, although I would redo it much more thinner these days, probably 2mm or 2.5mm. The upper deck and the arms are 3mm as well. The arms is a 3D printed part at the bottom, and the moving part on the top is a carbon part. So of course you have a very small change of camber going up and down, but once again the travel of suspension is so small that it is totally impossible to notice it when you're driving. And at the rear over there I have a small diffuser on which the rear toe can be adjusted with the turnbuckles here. I have another carbon parts to fit the turnbuckles and the body post, and the body posts are simply mounted in the front over there on the chassis. I have my own little plastic piece for a bumper. And oh yeah, the wheels, because I'm using the Yokomo's Donuts for the 112 wheels, but I'm using of course 12 millimeters hex all around because it is from the free racing touring cars. So I have my own wheels which are very similar to the one I have designed for the Spada. They work very well, they are fully printed at home in ABS, and I've never broken a single one on the Spada. I don't think those will be broken. The tires go way before the rims are broken, so it's a really efficient way to have pretty much the wheels you want on the car. You can buy the donuts, you mount your own wheel. I always reinforce the ABS print with SA glue just to make it stronger, and it fits inside all the filaments. So all the parts that I've done like that have survived extremely well. I would say pretty much as well as plastic parts will survive. And so this is it. A little shorty battery mount over there with some simple turning holders in the front and at the back, and here you go. This is my 112 four-wheel drive pancar. Hopefully is going to be in action on camera soon. In the meantime, here is it trying to drive very unsuccessfully on my mini track. But yeah, I'm really thinking about not reviving this, because like I explained in a video recently, this is too expensive to get all the boutique parts from free racing in order to make the car. But I think I'm going personally to be driving this a lot more around the track, because it is a very unique thing to have a four-wheel drive pan car. And as much as I enjoy a lot driving my Kyosho Spada, it is something else to drive your own thing. So my track is going to be destroyed by this car. This car is way too big, and the turning radius being a fast pan car is not great, so I'm not going to be able to do much of a demonstration. But I just wanted to show this a little bit moving around, and with the body that he has currently fitted on. And I think hopefully when the track reopen, I might be able to drive this one in the Yamate track, which is really flat, and it's a public track as well. So we'll see what the government decides to do in Hong Kong in the coming days, if they decide to release the RC drivers back into nature, or if we are stuck for another few months at home. Alright, so I just wanted to share a little bit of this car moving on the track. I think it looks really neat, especially with this body on. The wheel wells was cut too high at the back because I was using it for another pan, and although I could go lower, those body posts don't have any holes lower, so I need to switch to other body posts so I can lower the body at the back. But even though the stance isn't right, I think this looks pretty sweet as it is. Alright, so I'm going to leave you on that, and hopefully I'll be able to show you this thing driving around the track one day if they open PYC. PYC in Fanling has a very nice carpet track, which this car is absolutely perfect for, and their track outside as well is fairly flat, so that might be possible if they reopen. At the moment they only open for members of the track, which I'm not a member, so I'm gonna have to wait for the public to be allowed to leave again a little bit. Alright, on that note everybody, hope you enjoyed that little update presentation on my four-wheel drive 112 pan car as well as the destruction of my layout in live. Alright everybody, stay sane and safe, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.